suggests, I'm about to tell you something about the Bitcoin massive price prediction for this coming week. It starts tonight, Sunday night. Today is July 7th, so happens to be when the two sevens clash. So happy birthday to all you 7-7ers. You know I know who you are, at least the ones that I know. And yeah, when the two sevens clash, what an interesting day. But more than that, if you're a Bitcoiner and if you happen to be a trader of Bitcoin, well, this video is for you. It just so happens that Bitcoin has been following along the VEPs really quite perfectly. If you've been looking along with the charts that I've been posting in the Discord at alphatraడింghq.com alphatraడింghq.com/discord. Yeah, that's the one, alphatraడింghq.com/discord. And if you have been looking at that chart or those charts that I've been posting there, or have been talking about on the live streams with Bilbo, and we've been talking about it regularly, obviously, during our live streams. I've been telling you that Bitcoin is set to basically make a move. Well, every day it makes nice little moves that you can scalp, but a big move, it looks like it's getting set up to do sometime in middle of July, which is about a week from today or tomorrow, because a week from tomorrow will be a Monday when the market comes back. Could even be a week from today, when technically the market's open on the CMEs or in the run up to that, right? You can say, well, things don't usually happen on weekends. Well, plenty of things happen on weekends. Look at yesterday, right? I told you 2 days ago, I said on Friday, take your damn profits, right? If you were shorting, I told you to take your profits at the lows, look for the next entries. Next entries would have been to the upside, which they were. Price went back up like 8% or something, right? I said there, also take your profits. On Friday, we said during the live stream, take your profits. Look for the next entry. Those of you who did, good for you. And then we said look for the next entries. And what was the next entry? Next entry would have been, to go back down to the downside if you were capable of doing that. If not, the next move after it went a little bit to the downside for a reposition was to bounce back up a bit. And it did that several times yesterday. Went up and back down, up and back down, up and back down very nicely, giving you plenty of entries and exits on things like the 15-minute and lower time frames. It was frankly, a gift, right? Just back and forth, up and down, up and down, up and down, about 1% every time. That's like 6% in a day. Just by moving 1% back and forth 3 times. That's 6% movement, right? If you traded that. Now, of course, not everybody's going to trade that, especially not on a weekend, whatever. You're busy, living life, etc. Good for you. But that's just an example of what you can do if you happen to be trading on a weekend and things seem relatively slower, or you think to yourself things are slower. Remember, you still got about 80% of the market running, even on a Saturday or even on a Sunday. Why? Because first of all, not everybody takes the same day off for the weekend. Second of all, the bots. This is the most important thing. The bots that run the markets 24/7 in crypto, right? And they run, frankly, the traditional markets 24/7 because there's after-hours trading. Who do you think is running most of the after-hours trading? It's a bunch of bots. It's also people living overseas or people trading, in international markets. But it's mainly the bots because they run millions of trades per second, right? They're not just goofing around running one trade a day or one trade every hour even, or one trade every minute. They're running millions of trades per second is their usual speed. Can they be slowed down? Yeah, they can slow down. Depends on what's happening. But generally speaking, they're running lots of trades to keep the markets liquid, right? And on weekends, they're going after each other a lot, right? So during the week, they make a lot more money from retail traders who are putting more liquidity into the market, But even on weekends, retail traders are putting in some liquidity. And then on weekends, they're taking away money from each other mostly. So they are still taking away money from retail traders, right? So what is the big Bitcoin massive move that's coming up this week? Well, the massive move is that volatility is lining up very well. So is entropy, by the way, and so are the RMLRs. If you look at the daily time frames, you'll see that the asset is actually still in a mean reversion on the daily time frame to the 3012 RMLR. And why does that matter? Well, because it is still more likely to hit that 3012 RMLR than it is to drop back down to the third band of the RMLR on the 3012 RMLR. Why is that? Well, because of probabilities. Doesn't mean it's impossible that it'll hit that third band down before it hits the actual RMLR. No, nothing's impossible. It's just that the probabilities are extremely high, as in well over 99.7%. So, the probabilities are extremely high that it will hit that. How do we know it's 99.7%? Look at the data set. Look at the fact that it's hitting a 99.7% outlier when it hits that band, which means once it stops hitting that band, you'll tend to see a reduction, right, in the drive towards that price because of the returns, right? The returns will bring you back towards the mean. Once the returns bring you back towards the mean, what's happening? Well, the asset's going to revert to the mean. Well, what is the RMLR? It's the reverse mean of log returns. So when the asset is reverting to the mean, it's going to hit the mean. It's going to hit also the reverse mean. Eventually, it's going to do those things. So that's why it's setting up very nicely. And if I were you, I'd be looking for that. Probably, seeing it as a long-term motion lasting a number of days, beginning at some point. And it looks like it could start even this week, by the way. Depends on how things go. But it is definitely looking set up to happen starting around the 15th of this month. Anyway, that's it for now. Happy trading.